Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another Wednesday and another episode of Black Women in Business, The Dirty Truth. Y'all, we've closed out another month. It seems really hard to believe, but we are in November, firmly in November. Well, not firmly, it's the second, but we're moving on into that final quarter. So, y'all out there running businesses, just a little sidebar. How are y'all doing? Are y'all getting those goals in? Hopefully, you're working hard and not hustling, and you're able to enjoy these holiday seasons that are coming, because that's important. Take care of you and your family, and don't forget that that's the love we want you to feel. All right, so today's episode is another good one. I know I probably opened this way a lot, but I feel like we are bringing it. I'm a little nervous about how we're going to do 2023, but we're bringing it and we're going to keep doing it until we can't do it no more. We're going to keeping on. So today we want to talk about something that I know for me, when it was brought up, this was a topic we were going to talk about, that I was like, I don't want to say oblivious, but I learned a little bit. It wasn't something that I expected. I thought I just knew it all when it comes to this. So drop in the comments for me, what does leadership mean to you as far as every part of your life, like being a mom, being a wife, in your family, in your community, if you're running a business, within your business? What does that look like and what does it mean to you? So I've asked y'all now, ladies, what does leadership mean to you? Let's kick it off with that.
Well, I can say for me, I'm the oldest of four. So I just felt like I was thrown into that role. You take care of your siblings, you're responsible for them. And so I just grew up knowing like how to take care of other people and taking care of business. And then having my own family that just kind of seeped over into that. Okay, you go here, we do this. Don't ask questions, just do. So I feel like growing up, I mean, that just prepared me to be a better wife, a better mama. And then just owning my own business. Okay, I know what I need to do. I know I need to set aside time to schedule and do all the things and just interact with people. So I've learned a lot just by, I guess, growing up and being me. That's what leadership means. Just doing what you need to do, take care of the business, and move on.
I hear that.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so I'll hop in with mine. So that's interesting, different perspective. So for those that don't know, I am the baby girl in my family. So that's interesting perspective as the oldest child. And my nickname was Baby, like because Dayna is like the supreme baby, like. Won't when she won't, right? Like, so it's interesting perspectively that's how you perceive things. So there's a quote. I'm a big quote person, y'all know that by now. There's a quote that for me always is the baseline of how I lead, and it's basically I want someone to look at me and be inspired. So for me, leadership is more about inspiration than actually telling people what to do or delegating certain things. So I will say this, there's definitely different leadership styles. And whether it was in my family, whether it was in like my Young Living business, whether it was with MIB, I have found the people that don't thrive under my leadership are people that need step by step, do this, then this, then this, do this, do that. So for me, I hate being micromanaged. I want you to just give me the baseline of things and let me just envision and go, right? Yeah. So if you need like micromanagement or you need like, detailed things like that, a lot of times I will fall short from a leadership standpoint for you. And I've had people come to me and they're like, Dayna, I don't know how to follow you. Like, I can't, like, you're over here, then you're over here, then you're doing this, then you're there. And it's like, you're making my brain explode. Like, I can't follow you. And so I always say, like, don't try to follow my footsteps. Just get inspired by it. Like, if you get inspired by my journey, you're going to find your own path. And for me, that's what true leadership is. It's inspiring somebody else to make their own path, make their own way, and to be able to have strength from that.
Mm. I love that. Listen, Dayna be coming with it, y'all. If y'all don't know by now, Dayna be coming with it. So this is, before I say my piece on that question, it's really funny. So some of the things that y'all are learning about the three of us, I'm learning right at the same time. It's really like, oh man, a moment, a God moment, if you will. The three of us are together because Andriana just said she's oldest. Dayna said she's baby. So what does that make me? I'm middle child, y'all. So it's funny, perspective wise. Dayna said it, and she said it before we came live to y'all, to have these different perspectives. And it's funny just how our perspectives are just like one here, one here, and one here. Like we got this perfect triangle going on. So if you're an oldest, you got one right here. If you're a baby, you got one. And if you're a middle, and we all know middle childs have it hard. So sound off, middle babies, because I'm telling you, I know it's so hard. It's so hard. But so for me, speaking on leadership styles, just because where Dayna left off, for me, I don't like being micromanaged either. I'm like, give me I don't like boxes and lists and things like make me go crazy. Just give it to me and let me work. And then you can praise or critique or whatever as we go. And that's how I lead, in a sense that I'm like, I'm going to give you what for me, I felt like maybe I needed. And then you tell me that's for me, that's not for me. How can I do better for you? And then I'll go, because I'm like, I want everybody to do their own thing. As far as my business, I'm like, this is your business. I don't want no parts as far as having to run your business or tell you what to do. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't want to be like the reason something didn't work out for you, but I also want to be there to support you. And I want to be a part of your success and be there to rub your back or whatever if you fail and you need that support. But I can honestly say my husband and I had a conversation, and he's very literal. We've talked about husbands before on our episodes, and we were talking about something that had to do with military. But leadership is a term that gets kind of slung around everywhere. We're like, your leadership, go here. You have to follow, your leadership lines. And for me, I'm just like most people out there, you're probably like, well, your boss may be your leader. But he was like, that's not even what a leader means, right? A leader is somebody, like Dayna said, who inspires you, who influences you to want to do better or to do this thing or to face your goals or whatever it is. And as he was talking, like my gears were turning, and I'm like, that's crazy, because I never could put like a name to it or a reason. But there are people that we consider leaders that I'm like, nah, bruh, I'm not walking off this bridge with you. I'm gonna stay here. And I feel weird calling you a leader. But then there are people that, like Dayna's saying, you hear their stories and you're like, let me come over here and let me see what you got going on. And so I just couldn't put words to it, but it was like, we're using this word and it doesn't match everybody. So I am in agreement as a middle child with the baby child that I like those leaders who give it to you, but inspire you and allow you that freedom to take what they gave you and kind of run this way and give their opinions, when they need it, when they need to critique you, when they need to, and go that way. I don't like being like, you need to not a fan. So we would love to hear in the comments what you think a leader is, what it means to you, and even what's your leadership style. If you're in a leadership position within your community, drop it in the comments. We love when you all interact with us. That's what we're here for, to have these conversations. So like I mentioned in the beginning, we want to tout on all of the ways that you're a leader in your daily life. Like there's so many. Yes, we're here to talk about being in business, but a lot of what you do in your business translates throughout your regular everyday life. So we're going to touch on all of those. Again, jump in the comments, give us all the things, and we will definitely interact with y'all. So let's get to it, ladies.
Yes. And I do think it's important to realize, because I know there's some people that's watching this and they're like, well, I don't lead, right? I'm not in any type of leadership role. So this doesn't really for real resonate with me. And I want to push back on that, because if you have any type of influence in any level, you are a leader or you have some type of leadership. So even like perspective being a mom, if you are a mom, right, you have kids, no matter what their age is, let me just preface that with, that are looking to you for guidance and steps. And even when they get to the point where they're making their own decisions, a lot of their decisions were based on what they saw from you, right? And so when we talk about leadership, it really can take so many different forms depending on which role you're in. So for example, I think about even with my children. So I have my daughter who, like, I always joke, but she like came out a boss. Like she came out with an agenda. I'm a boss. Like I know what to do. Like I actually even remember when I would be like nursing her, she'd just want her food. And then she'd be like, what else is going on in the world? Okay. So, like, where is everyone at? Right. And so I had to adapt, right? Because I'm still leading and guiding her, right? I'm still helping her to make choices and things like that. And so even though I don't want to stifle her creativity, her growth, her personality, her strong, personality, I still have to take the reins and be like, hey, girl, nope, we got to move it over this way, right? Like your bossiness is not a handicap, but like this is how we can use it in a way that's positive and that draws more of what you need and what you're looking for. On the flip side, my son, his personality, he is more of a free spirit. He's a little bit more like my personality, right? Like for sure, don't tell him details of specifically what to do. Just give him kind of the ideas and let him flow. But again, I have to lead them or guide them to a certain space in order to give them that room to grow, to flourish. And unfortunately, I think it's sad that a lot of parents nowadays are not guiding their kids, right? Like they're too busy with their work. They're too busy with their businesses. They're too busy doing all of these things that TV is raising them. Electronics is raising them. And so they're not leading them at all. And then they get to the end of life and they like don't even know the simplest things like how to boil an egg, right? Like they're like, I don't even know how to function in the world like a normal human because nobody has led me. Nobody has guided me to like, what are the next steps? Where should I go? How do I make decisions and use the knowledge I have in a positive way?
Yeah, I like that. I think that's a really good point to bring up because we have this fantasy of what a leader is. You may be saying I'm not a leader. Like there's not a place I'm a leader, but there are places that you're leading, but because you don't think you're in an authoritative place or in a role that you're like, oh, I can't be a leader. That's not like that's not even how it works. I have kids that are the same. It's just my opposite. My oldest is like, just let me know what it is. And my young kids is, I know what to do. You just have to give him that direction. Give him that direction. And you can do that within your church groups, your community outreaches, wherever you're doing that. Even if there's somebody in charge, you can still be leading by giving direction. And I think that is huge. I need direction. That made a shift within my own personal creating direction for myself versus just being like, well, I'll just do this and this today. Like, where are you going? Where are you going?
I guess for me, with my 3 little ones, my middle child is the leader of the family, which is so strange because like Dayna said, her daughter came out being a boss, mine did too. She has to run everything. There's this post going around on Facebook that says, why does the oldest feel like she has to be the family manager? And I shared that and I said, because if I don't, who gonna do it? And I think that's part of me just, I don't know, ingrained in me that I have to always take care of everybody. I have to do it. And so as a leader, I want to hold your hand. I want to show you what to do. And then I expect you to do it. Like right there. Y'all don't want to be boxed in your boxes and all that type of stuff. But I'm going to give you a schedule. I'm going to give you a list. Please follow it. Don't ask me questions.
I love that. Can I just say real quick, like, all of this is coming together and making sense. Because even when we do Zooms, like Andriana be like in the waiting room, but I'd be like, oh shoot, let me start that thing. Like, what time did I tell her where I'm supposed to be? So, I just love, like, she owned it. Like, let's do this.
I have to. I think that's part of like being a control freak too. I mean, I have to be in control of everything. My husband tells me all the time, like, okay, you just do it. You just handle it. And I'll just show up.
Yeah. So I do want to kind of pivot with this conversation with another quote, y'all. So if you are a Trent Shelton fan, light it up in the comments. Let me know, because that's my homie G, right? So he had a quote, and I, like, when he said this, I was like, oh my goodness, that's powerful. So you have to be ready to walk through an open door that doesn't even exist. And when he said that, it resonated with me so much, because when we talk about leadership, there might be spaces, and especially as this series is showing you, there might be spaces and holes in your industry that need you to be the one that actually paves that trail. You need to lead other people to know that there is a hole and there's a space, and somebody needs to fill it. The door don't exist. You got to create it. And so when I thought about even my journey with Young Living, as mentioned, I came from the beauty industry, right? So my passion was skin, hair, makeup, right? And when I saw Young Living as a whole, I'm like, well, we got skincare. We got, I mean, at the time we didn't have Savvy Minerals yet. We have all of these spaces that make sense. But what I know is my struggles with my hair, my struggles with my skin, my struggles with makeup is going to be different than somebody else's. And when I'm Googling and looking up information, even product stuff, I'm not finding me, right? And so that's why even I said, you know what, I'm going to create this book. I'm going to create like these videos. I'm going to do these things because I knew I needed to lead in that space, because I knew that nobody else was doing it. So if you ever look at a stage, love it. If you go to events and you look on stage and you don't see you, instead of first saying, oh no, this is not the place for me. Okay, time to turn around and go. No. That is your calling to say, this is where I need to lead.
Yes.
This is where I need to be there.
Yes. It's funny. There's two things that while Dayna was talking, I was just thinking, like, there's so many people, especially within network marketing, social selling, MLMs, all of those tags that come with it, that if something isn't to your liking, and I'm not talking about products, I'm talking about the support or whatever it is, even if you feel passionate, I have seen people will just quit, especially ladies. We're like, no, I like Dayna saying, there's no door, there's nowhere for me to go, and I can't. I'm just done. But you got to create that. I used to hear it a lot, especially when I first came into Young Living, that you would hear like there just wasn't, there wasn't the support. There wasn't that leadership. And what people were looking for was an Andriana to tell them, post here and do this. And they didn't have it. And so they were like, I don't have the support, so I'm going to bail out. But it was, for me, it was, okay, I don't, this isn't happening for me. There isn't a place that I'm feeling like I want to fit in. So now I'm going to take my crew, my community, and I'm going to build this. And to add to Dayna, like, if you don't see it, be it. Like, create that, because it's there. Somebody else needs it. You're not alone. So create it. And the other side to that, I just heard, I listen to podcasts. I have to drive hours on end to get my youngest to school these days. So I get my personal development in the car. Now, listen to a podcast, and I'm catching up. So this was last year, and the LuLaRoe situation happened, and they had their Netflix. I didn't know they had a Netflix like 4-episode special thing, but they did. And they broke down all of this, what happened within the company, why it fell down, why there was all that drama. If everybody remembers that, they were the leggings company and they got pushed as being like a pyramid scheme and all this crazy jazz. I learned a lot, super irrelevant, but one of the ladies that was interviewed mentioned that she never saw one of the biggest issues that she had, and which made it very hard for her not to fall into the issues that they were having, was that everywhere she went, she stuck out like a sore thumb. And this was a Black woman and this was a Hispanic woman. They were like, everywhere we went, we stuck out like a sore thumb. And on the podcast, which was Kristen Boss's podcast, she was like, it got me thinking, why don't we have more women of color in the network marketing, social selling space? And I truly do believe it is that piece that Dayna just said. You walk in a room, you're alone. That is scary. One said she earned all of these trips. She earned a cruise, but she never went because she didn't see anybody in the marketing materials. On the call, she was alone. So she didn't want to go on the cruise. She didn't want to go on all these expense paid trips that she'd earned because she was alone, and instead just slunk into silence. But how many more women are feeling that way who look just like you, but won't do it because they don't know you're there. They don't know that you're there. And just hearing Dayna say that, it just reminded me of that. And I remember driving thinking, I don't know how many conversations that the three of us have had where we've been like, it can be hard. Because before I ever went to a convention, I remember seeing in comments of another Black woman that does Young Living, like, are there Black people at convention? But for me, I can remember feeling like when pictures would go up while I was overseas, I would be looking like, is there anybody who remotely resembles me that when I go, it's not going to be like, all right, how I got that. So don't shy away from, that's an amazing quote. Just because there's not a door does not mean that you have to stop and can't go forward. That's crazy. On the flip side to that, this is probably going to be, Dayna she's going to talk, y'all, but it's going to be a little hard conversation. There's a lot of turnover happening this time of year. It happens all the time. So what happens? Any advice you ladies can give to any of our business women out there watching, and fellas too, if you find yourselves in these tight spots. So what happens when there's turnover? People go out, people give up. What happens when you're thrust into the spotlight of being a leader and you're not ready, you're not sure what to do? What advice, what things can you say to those people that find themselves in these positions when these turnover times happen?
All right. So for me, just based off of what Dayna said, that whole quote of just because you don't see the door doesn't mean it exists. I see the holes, I see the gaps, but it's a little intimidating because as a birth doula, I mean, I guess that's my little niche. And I love supporting.
You don't guess. That's your niche, girl.
I love supporting the mamas in that during that time. But if I show up and I'm the only one that's teaching it, am I teaching them right? And am I giving them enough support? How do I know if I'm doing it right if I'm the only one? And so for me, I just like, okay, maybe I need to step back, do some research. I don't know. Who do I talk to? Who do I go to? Do I need to write a book too? But I mean, I don't know. And so then all those thoughts come into me. I just like, okay, well, I need to sit down somewhere because I got too much going on. Because like I say, I like to like give people the boxes and the schedules and do all the things. But for me personally, I just don't know where to start. And it just becomes overwhelming and intimidating.
So I will just say action, and then find a mentor. So your mentor does not have to be in your company. Your mentor does not have to be in your business. To be honest and truthful, when I first started with Young Living, I followed, if you guys are familiar with Brian Bean at all, you guys know who he is? Okay. So for me, I needed somebody that, like, I'm a hype girl. Like I, have always done different sports and things like that. So for my motivation, I need somebody to be like in my face, like, let's do this. Come on, let's go. So he was in a completely different company at the time. I don't even know if he's in a company anymore, because now we're talking like 7 years ago or whatnot. But I just really, really resonated with him as a mentor. And then I would find other people. I'm a huge E.T. Eric Thomas fan too. Rep Michigan up in here.
Here they go. Here they go.
So I really feel like you have to, but don't get stuck in the information stage. You do have to take action. So be so focused on the action that you're taking that you're not paying attention to everything that's falling apart around you. And I know that sounds kind of crazy because you're like, well, these people aren't ordering and I need to make money. And you're like, but my whole upline is gone. And so what do I do? Right. But if you're so focused on the action, because the action works, like no matter how you split it, like the beautiful thing about this industry, the beautiful thing about business, you don't even have to be in this industry. Business is you talk to enough people, they're going to buy your products. You talk to enough people, they're going to come to your establishment, period. Like it's a numbers game. I don't care how you slice and dice it. So taking that action, getting yourself in front of people, new people, it's not the same if you talk to the same fat people that you keep talking to. Okay? You talk to the same fat people, right? They done already told you, I got the lavender, leave me alone. No. So action and mentor. That would be my two biggest top tips.
I think that's good. And I also think I like and prefer is probably the better word. If you have a mentor that's not maybe specifically in your industry for the fact, because then it's like, you can ping off those ideas and it's completely like, I don't know what's happening over there, but this is what I think. I really like that. And I think forehand for me, I know you know it's going to happen. I think that's something that you have to accept about businesses. There's going to be turnover, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a specific time of the year, but it seems to stand reason that the companies, corporate or whatever you want to call it, your headquarters tend to do crazy things at a certain period of time. And then people who are stuck in the old way are like, nope, I'm out. People are going to leave constantly, especially specifically in this network marketing industry. People are going to come and go because it happens. But like Dayna said, take the actions, but be consistent, because as long as you don't idolize, have leaders and, appreciate them and love them while they're there and love them if they leave, but don't put them so high up on a pedestal that when they're gone, you crumble and you have your team, your communities to still support and still lead. It like they're gone. They and it hurts and it sucks, and we've all done it. I know we've all done it. But if you have been doing, as Dayna said, the action, you've been putting in the work, you've been running your business, not having a business for your upline or having a business for your said leader, it's just more of the same. There's a reason why those below you were like, hi, like we're sitting at your feet now, help us. There's a reason. It's not just like they were like, who's next? Because you gravitate where you want. Like when things crumble, you go to the person or the people within your bubble that you're like is going to understand or is going to be able to support me and help me. And that's what those people did before they thrusted you into this position. They were just like, hey, what's going to happen? You can internally freak out. You can externally freak out. I let people know, hey, listen, I got you. I'm here for you. I might cry as I'm telling you how we're going to fix this, but we're going to do this thing. And all of those, both what Dayna and Andriana said, mixed with just understanding it's an ebb and flow, and don't get caught up in that idolism of this person's never going to go, because the person you least suspect to just be like, I'm out, I'm on to something bigger and better. And then you're stuck like Chuck, as they say. And we don't want that. Leadership is an influence and inspire people. I love that. Dayna dropped some wisdom today, y'all. Yeah. I love that. While y'all are out here closing out, oh man, it's really hard to say that. There's the fourth quarter, y'all. Remember to inspire. We're going to leave y'all with that. Inspire, do the work. Don't be an older child and give people lists. I'm just playing. If that's your jam, y'all, take those lists, but inspire with your lists and just continue to show up and be your awesome self, because you truly are inspiring somebody, even if you don't think it. Y'all, let's rock out for November. We will see you next Wednesday for another stimulating conversation, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central. Y'all, have an amazing rest of your evening and a great week, and we will see you next time.
Bye, y'all.